thank you for this chance. So my name is Steve Kinyanjui, that's the official name, but I'm known as Steve Mato Mato. That's my brand name for what I do. So, well, my journey, I'm going to share my journey, and since it's a journey, I'm still journeying. Bado nazidi na safari. So ni a bit of experience, what I've learned through what I do, and maybe someone somewhere can be able to just learn something from what I'm going to share. So born and raised in Kiambu County, a place called Limuru. It's a very cold place. That's where I attended my primary school. I went to Genia High School for my secondary education. And then from there, when I was doing my KCSE, my dad got an accident, and it was a bit tough for us. It was a bit tough for us, so after I finished my KCSE, I came to Nairobi to just hustle. I stayed a bit with my cousin. Then I was interested in tourism, in traveling. I always wanted to be a traveler. So my favorite subject back in high school was geography. Nilikuwa napenda something interesting about people, to learn about cultures and everything. So when I finished my high school, I decided I'll do tourism related courses. And because he didn't have finances, I approached my cousin, and he offered to pay for my college education. But when I was still in college, I had it was way back in high school. I had these things, these activities that I had to some extent developed because I was also an active scout member. Nilikuwa nafanya some activities, psych up activities, fun activities. Whenever we find people, a group of people, we start to psych up, we start to do activities, and they always loved it. So the place I was staying here in Nairobi, it was near KC University, and I started approaching them with the same activities. So they were always requesting for my activities whenever they have something. Good. So I started doing the activities, and at that particular time, I was also now going to college. I was doing my courses in tourism, and then was one day when I was doing those activities in church, that is St. Benedict Catholic Church, and in KCA, someone told me, you can be able to commercialize these activities because, and that person told me they are called team buildings. So I didn't know what is a team building back then, and I decided to just research and see how I can be able to convert those fun activities to be the team building. And at that particular time, I was hustling. Nilikuwa na hustle kwa cyber fulani, and the guy who had employed me there, akaona a certain potential, and he encouraged me so much. Akaniambia, if you focus on kufanya hizi activities na whatever you are doing that is in tours, unaweza enda mbali. Actually, he's the one who connected me with someone called Stella Maris. She's a director at Sejos Tours. Akaniconnect, akaniambia she's Stella Maris that anafanya tours, but she doesn't have someone to psych up people, because when people go for a safari for a trip, they need someone to psych them up, to organize, coordinate, and apparently nilipata I'm so good in that. So he connected me with Stella Maris, and we sat down. So there was a company called Sejos Tours. Ilikuwa inaanza at that particular time, and I came on board. So the task was to just try and reach more people through traveling, more people through those activities called team building, and we can be able to take the company to the next level. So when we were starting, it was a bit ilikuwa hectic sana. It was a bit challenging because it was a new field to us. But I had a small background of tourism, so at least I could understand how to make packages, to come up with itineraries, quotations, and everything. And then, while still at Stages, I had also tried something else. We were working with someone who was working with the Kenya Primary Head Teacher Association. I was part of the team that had organized the Children's National Government. So with all that experience, now I brought it to Stages. So we started with doing local tours, Kenya. We would go to a hotel, we'd go to a destination, then do our research, we negotiate the rates. Because when we were starting, that's around 2014-15, domestic tourism was a bit, that time is when domestic tourism was peaking. Most of the hotel, most of the hotels were focusing on international market. So through local tour companies, they were trying to just come up with new ways of coming up with good and attractive packages to just entice and focus on domestic market, because that time there was issues of terrorism, there was issues of general election which had happened. So international market was a bit low, and we saw that as an advantage. So we started advertising our packages. We were mostly using Facebook, Twitter, we were using Instagram, we would sponsor the ads there. Then people would see, and when they come, they used to be our brand ambassadors. When you attend one of our trip, we were making sure that you enjoy to the limit. And then we were not just selling the tours, we were selling the experience, because for example, we are heading to Mombasa. Back then there was no SGR. We would take a coaster bus, then en route we would make a stopover. We have some fun activities, and those fun activities I'm the one who was facilitating. And when we get to the hotel, instead of just staying there, we go to an excursion or an attractive place in those places. So we invested so much in researching destinations, those uncharted places, those places that are not widely known. So we were focusing on getting them. We did local, then we ventured into Tanzania. We started doing Arusha, Moshi. Then from there we did Dar es Salaam, we did Zanzibar, we did Mwanza, and also we started with Uganda, Kinajinja, Kampala, Entebbe, and so many other places within East Africa. When we were growing, yes, there was challenges were there zilikuwa hapo, lakini we were focused on taking the brand or taking the company to the next level. And through the network that we were getting, and through the clients that were booking via us, they were the same that were giving us those corporate gigs. Zile za, if people want to travel, now we started organizing group. So if you have a group of your friends, if you have a group of your colleagues, if you have a group of any group, HMRs and everything, we would organize and then take those groups. Later on, we ventured into international market. We started doing bookings for the major destinations before COVID was Dubai. We were selling Dubai a lot, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and also we did Thailand. We were also doing some packages in Thailand. That was before COVID. Yes. So now my team building journey, it was in that process of being at stages. Every time we could do the activities, everyone was telling me, these are activities, if you focus on them, if you research on them, they can be able to generate an income. So I decided I'm going to research on what is team building, and I went online, I researched great facilitators, what they do, what kind of activities do they facilitate, and I started developing sort of a curriculum or sort of set of activities. And I also researched on the local market, what other facilitators were doing, and what extra am I going to bring. So through the network that with the clients that we were traveling with, I decided now to focus on corporate market. So that is writing proposal, coming up with great packages, and selling experiences as we were doing. So I approached, and they started picking slowly. When you work with corporate, they focus on delivery, they focus on the quality of the job, they focus on so many other things, and they whenever they equate, they give you a figure, they equate a value to it. Will this thing add something value to the organization? So now my team and I, we researched, and we came up with great activities. So when we did for just few corporate through the referral of our previous clients, we were able to now start getting into corporate world. We got the corporate world, and when we facilitate, let's say for example a bank, a branch of a certain branch, they would now recommend us to another branch, and that's how we rose. So back to the corporate world. So Let me pause and take you back a bit about the brand Mato Mato. So when I was facilitating the activities at actually KC University and St. Benedict used to be like my place where I would test the activity. So I would go research an activity because most are international activities. Then I modify it to status of now the audience that I was targeting. Then I'll go and try to facilitate students at KC University and St. Benedict. So there I was doing an activity called Mato Mato. So everybody in campus used to call me, hey, Mato Mato, Mato Mato, Mato Mato. And I decided, since I wanted to grow something, since I wanted to be known by something, I decided Mato Mato first is a unique name. Second, it will be my brand name because I wanted to also work with other companies other companies, and they work with me as a brand. So Mato Mato was named there, and from there, then up today, most people know me as Mato Mato. Actually, people think most of the time that's my official name, which is not. It's my brand name. Now back to the corporate one. So one thing I noted through experience is the product that we have, that is team building activities, indoor and outdoor activities. They are unique and they are so much in demand. So what if you have something which is on demand, what you do is to just keep on perfecting it, because you'll be called by this company, will be given a job by this company to facilitate, and they call you again. So if you are not innovative and creative, it will be they will say you've not been able to deliver. So back in tours, when we were growing that stage of tours, I was also growing as a brand. So both the company and I, we were growing together. And I decided, because I've done tours for quite a while, that is tours to being a tour consultant, being a tour operator, I decided now let me focus purposely on the team building a bit of it. So through that, I was able to register my own entity, my own company called Emprise Quest Events, which now trade and which now focuses on organizing, facilitating those team building activities. Right now, I have a team of five guys who are the facilitators, and I have others that I work with on contract basis. That is a videographer, photographers. And through that, in 2020, when the COVID was announced, a pandemic, I think that was one of the greatest challenge we faced, especially those people who are in service industry. That is us, those people who are doing jobs that are related, that you work close with people. So everything there was lockdown, so we were at home, and I sat down at home one day and I asked myself, how do I, because the pandemic was not known when it will come to end, and I asked myself, how will I be productive? Because I like being creative, I like to come up with new things. So I sat down and I asked myself, how will I be able to make that time that I'll be at home productive. So I decided to start a YouTube channel, because we were very busy. Most of the time we were very busy on the road, traveling, facilitating, but we were documenting what we were doing. So I had a footage of various team building. So what I will do is I would sit at my house and then I explain an activity, how it's done. Then I do a tutorial of activity. I take someone who is interested with the activity, I take them through. Then from there, I would attach a footage of a previous team building that we had facilitated before. And people started liking it, people started encouraging me. And also that time there was lockdown, I was busy, because I would set certain project in customer. I want to finish this video with this particular time. So I didn't even know how to edit. I went on YouTube, nikajifunza ku-edit. I taught myself how to do vlogs and all those things. So I started my YouTube channel, and it has been right now it's very instrumental because it's acting as my portfolio. If a corporate approaches me and asks me, what do you guys do? I just share a link and you'll see us facilitating various activities to various organizations and institutions. And then now you are confused. Oh, my YouTube journey started there. I've also wanted to be a vlogger, like because we thank God because we get a chance to travel a lot through what we do. That is activities. Like for example, you'll be called in Mombasa to go to a certain destination. Maybe you are facilitating or you are doing activities for like 1 or 2 days. Then you are there for 4 days. So how do you capitalize on these other days? So I chose, being also having a background of tour consultant, I chose to be sharing these destinations, to be creating awareness about these destinations. And so I decided to just learn how to vlog, and I started. Like for example, the end of 2020, I got a chance to go and facilitate a team building somewhere in Somaliland, in Hargeisa. And then the group that was hosting me there, they decided to just take me out. So I tried as much as possible to document the experience and to just remove the bad experience of Somaliland or Somalia, of those places, and people to see it as a local travel destinations. So that is among so many other things that I do. Recently, with my friend who we facilitate with, he's more of motivational speaking and corporate training and corporate talks. So we sat down, and because we want to reach to as many as possible, so we founded another organization that is called Team Elevators. Elevators is from the word elevate. So that purposely we are trying to focus, we are trying to train and to have team buildings and to organize those academic performance programs in especially high schools and universities, to just try and help the students to know themselves, those things that are revolving around life skills, and to share our experiences and maybe to mentor someone to not to give up and to continue on with the journey. So that's where I am as at now. So my YouTube channel is Steve Mato Mato, STEVEMATO. That's where we share the experiences. We share 3 things there. First, we share the team building activities, those corporate team buildings. If team building is something new to you, team building is just the activities that are done in organizations to just help them to learn about communication, trust each other, teamwork, all those things. So we share, that's number 1. Number 2, we share the vlogs, the travel vlogs, various destinations we've shared. And yes, number 3, it's all our experiences. That is a team that we get to interact with, and tutorials on how to be a good facilitator. And if you want to focus on the journey of tourism, of being a tour consultant, we share those experiences. My other social media handles are as simple as possible: Steve Mato Mato. Steve Mato Mato. That is Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter and LinkedIn. So that's where you can be able to find me. So those are my social media handles.